Hello, my name is Lori Palmquist, and I'm going to take you on a tour of the Smart Irrigation Scheduler for the Sacramento region. This video covers the version of the scheduler that allows the user to save multiple controllers and zones. Once you have entered and saved your information, you can return as often as you like to see current schedules, download them, or get them emailed to you. Registering is easy and free. Just click the register link and follow the prompts. Before we go to the tool, I'd like to point out that you will see these information eyes in various places where, when clicked, will bring up the info page in a convenient separate window. I'm already registered, so I'll log in. As a registered user, this page is your home base. You can go to any page from here and return here from any page. You can go to the watering schedule. You can see, add, or delete zones. You can also see or download your zone lists or schedules. The functions that you can perform on this page are adding, editing, and deleting controllers. I have 2 controllers, so I'm going to add the second one. Give the controller a name. Choose the city, zip code, and watering day restriction. I'll click the Go button now. Now that I have a controller set up, I can add zones to it. After adding a controller, I find myself on the zone setup page with the Add Zone mode selected for me. To add a zone, I click on a gray zone number. This turns the number orange, giving me the capability to choose the information for this zone. The first choice in each row is pre-selected as a default. I should add here the very important point that if you try to click an icon to select it and nothing happens, it means you have not yet selected a mode. Clicking on either Add Zone, Edit Zone, or Delete Zone will put you in a mode where you can click the icons and make changes. Zone 1 in the front yard is the lawn. It's cool season turf, in full sun. There's moderate wind, no slope, and loam soil. The irrigation type is fixed spray sprinklers. Now I'll click the Go button at the bottom of the page to save the zone and go see this zone's current schedule if I want to. The Confirm Zone page gives you a verification of the changes you've made and saved for this zone. If anything doesn't look correct, you can click the green button and go back to the zone setup page to do it again. If I decide all looks good and would like to see the schedule for this zone, I click the Go button. Clicking this button sends the program out to retrieve the weather data for the past 7 days from an outside weather service. This process could take up to 15 seconds. Sometimes it takes just a few moments, and sometimes the weather service is down. But not to worry, if it is down, there will still be a fallback schedule created for you. I'll go ahead and click Go now and show you that part in just a bit. I'm on the schedule page now. It's showing all the data for the zone I created, as well as the current schedule based on the past week of weather data. If I click the See Schedule link here, it shows me the schedule for this zone for every month of the year based on historical weather data for my location. This is the fallback schedule I mentioned earlier. This controller has 2 zones, so I'll go back and set up the second zone. When I arrive back here on the zone setup page, I see that zone 1 is now white. That's because it has been entered and saved. And I can see all the data assigned to zone 1. I also find that I can't click on any of the icons. This means I have to select a mode to proceed. So I'll choose the Add Zone mode to add my second zone. Next, I need to click the new zone number. I'll choose all the data, then click the Go button to save this info. Then I'll click through to the schedule page once I make sure all the data is correct. Now that I have more than one zone in this controller, I can toggle back and forth between them and see not only the data for each of the zones, but the current schedule and the historical schedule for each zone. Please note that it's very important to make sure you don't run the sprinklers long enough to cause runoff. If runoff happens in 10 minutes or less, I'll need to adjust my run time or create more cycles on the watering day. Now we have both the front yard and the backyard controllers and all their zones entered. Let's have a look at the backyard controller. I'll click on this link. Since none of the modes have been selected, we are in the See Only mode. This is where you can click through the zones and see the data for each zone without the possibility of making any inadvertent changes to the zones. We've seen how to add zones. Let's see how to edit them now. When I click the Edit button, I want to see which zone number changes to blue. That is the one I will edit if I make any changes. I want to change Zone 8 to low water use plants. I click Zone 8, Low Water Use, and go to the bottom of the page and click the Go button, and proceed the same way I did for adding zones. Deleting zones is just as straightforward as adding and editing them. Click the Delete button. The number will change to red, meaning you can now delete it. Then click Yes or No. Clicking the Delete button again will activate the See Only mode again. Let's go back to the My Controllers page. If you want to see, download, or get emailed the list of zones or the watering schedule list, click one of these links. Here is the current schedule for the coming week for the backyard controller. You can toggle back and forth between the zone list and the schedule list. You can also download either list as a PDF, a text file, a spreadsheet file, or have it emailed to yourself. We trust this scheduling tool will serve you well and will help you create accurate irrigation schedules. Happy irrigating!